Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Your weekend is not complete without the First Lady of New York Radio. It's the Joan Hamburg Show. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Well, recently I was meeting friends for lunch in the Meatpacking district of Manhattan. And next thing you know, I was in the middle of, it felt at least like 100 elephants, life-size elephants. And I thought, what on earth is going on? And the people were busy, the streets were packed, everyone getting the biggest kick out of these elephants. And someone was explaining to me it's the Great Elephant Migration, and these are life-size elephants. This is probably the largest outdoor installation that has ever happened in New York City. And of course, the object, among other things, is to raise money and awareness for these incredible animals. I want to introduce you to Ruth Ganesh, who is involved in this and the co-founder of the Coexistence Collective. And as you know, these elephants are throughout the Meatpacking district, mostly on 9th Avenue, and each one is unique, an exact replica of a real elephant, freely roaming on plains and plantations in southern India. So I'm curious, Ruth, how did you get so involved with elephants and with this incredible installation?
It's a long story. It's been about 20 years of my life that I've been involved with elephants, in particular in Asia. And they are, of course, all Indian elephants that we're seeing in Meatpacking. And that was just a decision to commit myself to a life of adventure loaded up with meaning. And I happened to meet a wonderful human being called Mark Shand, who had spent all of his life also working on elephants when I was in my early 20s. And we together joined forces and started doing all sorts of activities that would raise money and also awareness about what's happening to Asia's elephants. And this exhibit really came about, it was about 10 years ago when we lost our founder, Mark, and that was in New York. And he was such a humongous, it was sort of charismatic megafauna in aid of charismatic megafauna kind of a scenario. He was such a huge and incredible personality. It was so devastating to lose him before his time. And I wanted to think of the biggest idea my brain was capable of to commemorate all of his work. So that's when the idea of let's migrate 100 elephants across America started, and then trying to find a way to do it that was really thoughtful and environmentally friendly led me to this community who live with the real wild elephants that each sculpture is based on. And I didn't realize that when I discovered them that it's actually the densest overlap between people and elephants anywhere on the planet where they live in the Nilgiri Hills in southern India and Tamil Nadu. So we just realized it was an incredible story and went from there.
And then you found these artists who make actually these incredible sculptures in India. And
that's right. Yes. We kind of built it. It was originally a dear friend, Shubra Nair, who was drawing out each elephant. And then we started working with all of the indigenous communities, the different tribes that, of course, have such a deep understanding of the elephants and see the elephants as relatives and sisters and brothers, animists. They worship nature. And they were trained over time. It took many, many years to get to the point we're at now, where we're making lots of elephants every single month. Yes, and they were all trained and using all of their knowledge and knowledge of nature to start making elephants at scale. And I think they've done the most remarkable job. I think that's why people are wanting to hug them and touch them so much, because they really evoked the feeling of being with a herd of elephants. And
everyone is touching. That was what was so amazing as you walk along the street and for this outdoor installation, and people are touching them. And,
yes.
You wonder, like I did, what are they made from? And I found out something really interesting. They're made, and you can correct me, they're made from a weed that no one wants because it's taking over forests and woodlands and displacing wildlife.
That's right. It's called Lantana. It looks very pretty. It's quite deceptive. It has orange flowers and pink flowers, and it was introduced as the decorative plant to India. I think it was British tea planters back in the day, and it's just run amok across all of the forests and protected areas. And yeah, as you say, it's not a positive thing at all. It's toxic. No animal can eat it. Even elephants, once it gets going, they can't easily pass through it. So it pushes animals out and deprives them of food, and sort of contributes to this issue of wildlife ending up in more urban and humanized spaces, and all of the complications that go with that.
Meta AI is the personal AI that's tailored to you, now with its very own app. It's built to get to know you, offering helpful answers and inspiration. Looking for something to add to your bucket list? Meta AI goes beyond traveling the world. It remembers you're a basketball fanatic and suggests you attend one of the playoff games. Just start typing or speaking to get the answers you need, wherever and whenever, because Meta AI is your personal AI. Download the Meta AI app, now available on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Lights, camera, innovation. Walt Disney Studios chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform the movie-making process. Together, we kept a remote production hub in Hawaii in sync with a team in California to bring Lilo and Stitch to theaters this summer. This is picture-perfect collaboration. This is Walt Disney Studios with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
All right, listen up. The only gift that any dad wants on Father's Day is Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships the most iconic foods from the best restaurants across the country straight to his door for free. Let him kick back and chow down on award-winning barbecue from Texas, epic deep dish pizza from Chicago, or colossal pastrami sandwiches from New York. Make Dad feel like an absolute legend this Father's Day, and go to goldbelly.com to get 20% off your first order with promo code DAD. That's 20% off at goldbelly.com, code DAD.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Are elephants and humans a good match?
I think elephants and humans have lived alongside each other for thousands of years. So yes, I would say yes. And I think the message is that we can indeed live with wildlife. And if in India, where there's so many humans, they have actually managed to preserve the largest population of elephants and actually increase it and increase the population of tigers. I think both of those populations have doubled in the last 30 years alongside the doubling of the human population. Then actually, yes, there are ways, but of course it takes a bit of patience, and it definitely takes an intention to ensure the survival of the animals, and not just do the quick and easy thing. To say you're an inconvenience and we're going to get rid of you.
Right. Well, and I'm curious, Ruth, how did you find the artists and sculptors who make these animals and spend years doing so in India?
They weren't doing it at the time. They were actually making furniture out of Lantana. And we were looking for a way to make a herd of environmentally friendly elephants. And they said, "Oh, we can make elephants." if we can make furniture, we can make elephants. So it grew from there, and it really just started with a slab of concrete in the middle of a coffee plantation and about 5 people. And now there are 200 artisans amongst 20 different villages in the Nilgiris, and all making elephants. So it's really been a journey to even get to the starting line of this epic adventure across America.
Right, and they are busy traveling and very successfully, right?
Joan, we just can't believe it. We're all cartwheeling. We're so happy. The reaction to the elephants from New Yorkers, and before that they were in Newport, Rhode Island, has been so, it's just been so beautiful and overwhelming. People are wanting to buy them. And, of course, every time we sell an elephant, it's helping the Indian elephants, but also many other species and projects as well. We decided to twin each elephant with a different wildlife project, including ones in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. And of course, everyone, sees them and sees the exhibit, and you've got to comprehend that there's a lot of challenges that these Asian elephants face.
Yes, I think so. There are challenges. There's always challenge. It's essentially like having a dinosaur wandering around through your village or in your back garden. So there are challenges, but because of the knowledge of nature and the knowledge of animal behavior that exists within these indigenous communities who make the elephants, they have such intelligence. They know, when is a good time to walk, where is a good place to plant my crops, what kind of crops should I plant. They also know each elephant by name and individual personalities of the elephants. So they know which ones are very shy and timid, or which ones are only just going specifically to, maybe try and eat some mangoes, and they'll leave you alone. So because of that in-depth sort of intimacy with nature, there is an incredible ability to live with them. But of course, it's like living with any challenging large animal, there are challenges, and it's not always a happy story.
No, and it's amazing that they find enough space even to accommodate themselves.
Yes. You'll see if you go, you'll see them in coffee plantations, and tea plantations are a favorite place for elephants to give birth because they're quite quiet. And, walking down the center of villages and towns. So the Meatpacking district is a sort of imprint of what's happening in India, and actually many different parts of the world are now seeing animals come out and into urban spaces. I think that we saw that a lot during the pandemic, all sorts of wildlife emerging into spaces that they previously had inhabited. So it's a challenge, but I think our message is one of positivity, and it's one of inspiration to say that if it's possible in India, and they've actually managed to double the number of people and animals at the same time,
and they can live next to each other,
and they can if you have that perspective of actually, all of these animals are our relatives, and we're all part of one big, family of life, and we should treat our relatives like we would treat our mother or our grandmother. Then, it's amazing what's possible.
Well, and do elephants basically, like humans, get along with them?
I think, what I've learned from working with this community, the Coexistence Collective and the Real Elephant Collective, I've really learned that actually each elephant is different. And just like some humans can be really grumpy, you can get really, friendly and amiable elephants. And it's just really tuning in to understand the animal itself. So, but I think that they do, and there is a humongous tolerance. And you think about an elephant with all of that mass and height and power and muscle, and actually they are not aggressive animals in the main. They are it's the last resort to ever be aggressive. So that ability to coexist is sort of an ancient way of life, and definitely you do see coexistence. You do see everyone getting on with their lives next to each other, whether you're an elephant or a tiger or a leopard or a human.
Right, and very different. Like, tell me again how you got so involved with Asian elephants.
I met this incredible human being called Mark Shand when I was 25, and
what were you doing?
I was starting out in life, and I was involved in lots and lots and lots of different charities, different wildlife charities. I'd had a lifetime of growing up walking in Scotland and being excited by nature. My father is a horticulturalist, so it felt like a very natural next step. And elephants, to me anyway, symbolized great adventure. So I was enthralled to meet Mark, who had actually rescued an elephant in the 1980s and gone on a journey across India on her. She was an elephant called Tara, and he wrote this best-selling book, Travels on My Elephant. And from there, he realized, oh my goodness, he literally fell in love. They had a very incredible relationship with each other, and there was a lot of communication and understanding of each other. And by the time he finished his journey, that was it. He decided his entire existence would be elephants.
And not an easy path, right?
Not an easy path, and I think he really felt that the Indian elephant and the Asian elephant had been rather overlooked by the world at large. There's been huge focus on Africa, but there's far less in Asian elephants compared to African elephants, and because they're mainly in jungles, not on savannas, they're harder to see, so they don't tend to get the same attention. What's not visible to the eye is often a little overlooked.
Right, and are they safe from humans?
Yes, I mean the poaching issue that is so generally associated with elephants has not. It was a problem in the 1970s across Asia, but it's not really the main problem anymore. It's the overlap of people and elephants and all of the infrastructure and railway lines and roads. All of these plantations and towns that are growing and encroaching on habitat. That's the biggest challenge, and it's really become the biggest challenge for most wildlife the world over. Actually, there's been such good progress that's been made in banning the ivory trade and making that something extremely undesirable in the world's eyes. So it's much more to do with human beings than it is to do with anything else.
Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
Choice Hotels get you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. Like with the road trippers we see here in their natural habitat, the breakfast area at a Comfort Inn. Here's a dad teaching his son how to make waffles, fluffy golden waffles. There's a mom making sure her daughter eats some fruit to avoid the "I'm hungry" from the back seat. And a sibling standoff over the last muffin. This is the cycle of vacation maximizationing in all its glory. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Komm du noch?
If you've heard that sound from Babbel before, I bet you do. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app that actually works. With quick 10-minute lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel gets you on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. With over 16 million subscriptions sold and a 20-day money-back guarantee, just start speaking another language with Babbel. Right now, up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/Spotify podcast. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify podcast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
And where do you find most of the elephants are existing or operating? Are they in India?
India is the stronghold for Asian elephants. They have the biggest population, but you have also elephants in Myanmar. We're not quite sure how many are in Myanmar. There's never been comprehensive surveys. And Thailand, and then you have Sri Lanka, Lots of people have been to Sri Lanka. There are a few elephants left in China, which is quite remarkable. Most people don't know that, in Yunnan province. There's 13 different countries now in Asia that have elephants left, but India really is the stronghold, with maybe sort of 25,000 still in the wild there.
Right, and it must be complicated to try to really take care of these elephants, follow them, get them to feeding areas where they're okay.
Yeah, they do their own thing. They know where they know where they can feed. They know where the water supplies are. They're hugely nomadic. In fact, most of their range is not in protected areas. It's outside of protected areas. Mm-hmm. So they're brilliant at navigating and negotiating the modern world to find food and find resources. And I think they do that without too much help from human beings. I think it's more about human beings trying to just allow them to get on with it.
Right. And to get along. But obviously, if that enormous animal can get along with human beings, there's a lot of hope.
There is. You're right. And those individual relationships between people and elephants, they've been celebrated the world over. So many of the elephants, there's a few elephants actually in the herd that are symbols of those unique relationships that you can form. I think Cher is very famous for rescuing an elephant from a Pakistan zoo many years ago called Kavan, and he's a tusker that's amongst our herd. And also lovely Kristen Davis of Sex and the City. She helped rescue a little baby elephant in Nairobi, just outside of Nairobi in Kenya, many years ago, called Chimu, and that elephant is also in the herd, and they've both of those wonderful women have formed relationships with those elephants. Those elephants remember them, and they often go and visit them. So, those relationships you talk about are 100% possible and out there.
Right. Well, it's an amazing story when you think about these animals living with humans, all getting along.
It is. It's I think it's the most magical story of our time, really. That is happening, and that's possible despite the challenges. And there's such a desire for and such a respect. The people in India, if an elephant happens to go across their crops, they'll say, "Well, the elephants were here first. We've planted on their land." There's this deep compassion and empathy for what the animal is going through.
Right, and you're very much a part of it. Thank you, Ruth.
Joan, thank you so much for shining your spotlight on this.
No, it's a really amazing story. Ruth Ganesh, who spends her very busy life saving Asian elephants and follow through. And also, come in our meatpacking district. I couldn't believe it. We were having lunch, and next thing you know, we're surrounded by at least 100 sculptures of elephants, which are now probably already in the middle of it, going to exhibit across the country. So it's a great journey and very fascinating for all of us. Lots of luck, continued good work. We'll talk again. I'm Joan Hamburg, and we're talking about the great elephant migration, sculptures traveling across our country. Stay tuned.